Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, and wow, they've done it. They have given us a bunch of new Evergreen card previews from a stream that FFG did yesterday, and today I'm going to go through them all with you. I'm only going to skip the Guardian cards because, well, other people are spoiling Guardian cards this week. I'm spoiling Guardian cards tomorrow, and I'm just going to wrap them all up in a video at the end of the week to look at Tommy's deck entirely. So let's just go with the secret cards and forward, and there's a lot of them, so let's not worry too much and get going with the whole situation. First off, we have some research cards. So if you don't remember this from chapter 1, a number of the sets, all of them, almost all of them, had some kind of little side quest for seekers to do. They had a level 0 card that didn't do anything really, and then once they did little mini quests, they got to translate or identify a particular card and then spend XP to upgrade it into a couple different options. So for Carolyn Fern's deck, we're getting Scroll of the Pharaohs, a 3-cost asset item, relic, tome, 4 secrets. Spend a secret, exhaust it, deal 1 horror to investigator or ally asset your location. Actually, it's a good way for her to start getting clues, right? Remember, Carolyn Fern's ability is after you heal horror from an investigator or ally, you get to discover a clue at your location. Anyway, do this thing 4 times because you want to get all the secrets off. So you do it the last time. Then, if there are no secrets on Scroll of the Pharaohs, discard it, draw 3 cards, and record. You have unearthed the secrets of the Pharaohs in your campaign log. Great. Okay. It's pretty easy. You just have to do this over 4 rounds, essentially. It eats up an action. You need to figure out what to do with the horror, but I think that's fine. You can deal the horror to your friends if you are running out and still want to translate this thing. Seems good. Unlike the last few sets, I think you can get 2 of these in your deck, and that makes it easier to find and then translate. That also means you can get 2 copies of whichever the upgrade you want or mix and match. The previous ones, there was just limit 1 per deck, made it a bit harder to find, translate, and then even get the upgrade. Okay. 3 upgrades. This is going to be all level 4. They all have 2 wild icons plus something else. Words of Bast. There's the research keyword. It just means you can't take this unless you've done the mini quest. Fine. Comes in with 4 secrets. Action, take 1 horror and spend 1 or 2 secrets. For each secret that you spent as part of this ability's cost, reveal 3 cards on top of the encounter deck. Reveal, don't do their revelation effect. It's just pick them up and look at them. But not look at, reveal. Okay. Choose and discard 1 non-peril, non-elite card among them, then return the rest to the top of the encounter deck in any order. A little bit of a scrying effect. Okay. Getting rid of 1 is good. It's like a mini Gloria. The more you look at, though, the less you're able to do this ability, and the fewer cards you're actually discarding. So, but, getting to look at 6 and deciding to, knowing what the next 5 cards are going to be in whatever order, that's still pretty good. For 4 XP, I think you truly have to be a support seeker, and well, I mean, maybe even in solo, this is pretty good. It reminds me of Scrying, the level 3 Scrying, because that was a spell that dealt you horror as well. I think it's actually the take 1 horror thing is going to be a cute way for Carolyn to actually use her ability. So I think this is fine. 4 XP seems like a lot, but I'm going to say this seems like a lot of XP in general, so that's all right. For chapter 2, just feels like that's been the case. Okay, the other ones. We've got Words of Set, and this is the one with Intellect. I guess the other one is Intellect too, Words of Ra. Anyway, 4 secrets for this one, as they all do. Take 1 horror and spend 1 or 2 secrets, as they all do. Investigate, you get +3 Intellect plus Investigation, so big skill boost. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at your location for each secret you spent as part of this ability's cost. So, take a horror, spend 1 secret, you get +3, get 2 clues. I mean, it's gonna knock you through some high fraud locations, and otherwise that version seems almost identical to the Dreamer's Chronicle. I've been playing that with the Harvey deck that you might have seen on the channel, and it is crazy good. That one also has 4 secrets, and you take a horror for each time that you get the additional clue. 4 cost is a lot. This is not much better than that. So you really want to spend 2 secrets and get 2 additional clues. So you can only do that twice. You're getting 6 clues out of this, I guess, one way or another. Well, I mean, I guess it's more than it's 8 clues if you're using them one at a time with that big boost. 6 clues if you just use 2 secrets at each time, which is, a niche thing that you might want to do on 3 or 4 player. I don't know. I think this is a bit overcosted for that effect, given that in this set we already have a level 0 card that gets you most of the way. So the only thing I can say is if we have ways of recharging things with adding more secrets, then this gets a lot better. I'm always afraid of recharge tech like that because Enraptured 2 was crazy good in Chapter 1, and anything else that sort of breaks the economy of how many uses are on things, it just needs to be baked in from the beginning. And at least the good thing with the Evergreen cards, the Corset, the Carolyn Fern, etc., is that we just know that those are already always in play. So maybe one day we get something that breaks this wide open, but right now it seems like okay. And the last one is one to fight with. Take 1 horror, spend 1 or 2 secrets, fight using intellect. You get +3 intellect for the attack, so you get a big attack. If you succeed, you can do an extra damage or 2 extra damage if you spent 2 secrets. Seems really fair. Again, if you're going to be reloading this with secrets all over the place, which we might be doing, then this is just a really good gun. It feels like a weapon in the sense that, I mean, it seems like a level 0 weapon, except for the +3 is really good. So Seekers tend to have a high stat anyway. They're boosting their intellect stat a lot. So like having 4 or 5 base and then boosting that to 8 with this, 7 or 8, is strong. Uh, a lot have been said about the strange solution from chapter 1. At least this makes you take some horror. It's actually probably better than base 6 for that combat for the strange solution. Did that have 4 supplies or 3? It might have had 3 supplies. The horror is a cost, but I think this is just really good. But not busted. And you know what? I think that Seekers need something, and it's the question of the rest of the stuff being balanced around this existing, so we don't have crazy amounts of card draw, refilling of secrets, to make those effects feel wildly out of place. If you have a solo, investigator, you got to have ways to deal damage. We haven't seen much yet. We've seen evades. This has to be part of the color pie. Well, it has to be done in part of the color pie that makes sense, but they need an effect that deals damage. There's no two ways about that, because true solo exists. And I know some people say, who cares? They shouldn't have Seekers play true solo. I, Look, they just need to keep that in mind and design around that. It doesn't have to be anything better than this, but it's a good card. But you can only use it a couple times, right? And it is 4 XP. Let's move on to some other classes. How about the rogues? We've got the Grapevine level 0 and level 2. The cards are very, very similar. I'll just read that once and then tell you what the differences are. Uses 3 rumors as a connection, which there's a few connections already. If there are no rumors on the Grapevine, discard it. Spend 1 rumor and exhaust the Grapevine. Parlay. So you can do this without taking attack opportunity. So you're engaged with an enemy, you can parlay, you don't get attacked, and then you do the rest of this effect. Choose an enemy at a revealed location up to 2 connections away. Could be your location too. Move 1 location at a time along the shortest path that enemy's location and engage it. I guess you don't want to do this at your location because now you spent one of these rumors to literally just take a basic engage that doesn't provoke attacks opportunity. Potentially it'll come up, but really this is for the movement tech and to go grab yourself an enemy that you want to do other stuff like evade or other kinds of parlay shenanigans. Grabbing it off of an investigator that can't deal with the enemy. This seems pretty good. It's tough to say like you're planning a deck around this ability, but you can. That's a lot of movement. The level 2 version is exactly the same. The only difference is that it's up to 3 locations away, 3 connections away, and you get to draw a card at the end of the effect. Very cool. I like that. I think this is worth it. Like, again, campaign tech, a lot of knowledge when you've played a campaign again. You can say, look, there's a location that enemies are going to spawn at. Yeah, it has to be revealed, but you might already have revealed it or someone's already up there. And this is just your way of getting rid of that enemy and not causing a problem. I recently played Echoes of the Past, Carcosa, Scenario 3, and it can be very, very difficult in higher player counts if you can't deal with those cultists that spawn, oh, 1, 2, 3 locations away from you at the very beginning of the game. And those guys are aloof. And if you can engage them with a card like this, that's really, really good. Seems like it solves a lot of problems. And even in that scenario, those locations are revealed when the enemies spawn in them. So that's kind of cool. All right. I think this is it for the rogue cards. I don't think we got anything else. I think we hello. It's the red clock. It's a reprint, straight up reprint from Edge of the Earth. And boy, this is a great card. It costs you 10 XP because it's exceptional, but it does a lot. If you've watched me play the Scarlet Threes with Pax and Philion over on Pax's channel, I played this in Jenny, and it does a lot of things that you might need if you have only all threes. And getting the money is really nice too. I don't think there's any changes here, which is good. XP question is a big one, right? In 3 or 5 scenario campaigns, are you going to have 10 XP to dump on this? Maybe. Honestly, I've been playing Knight of Zealot, and we've gotten a lot of XP just for playing a couple scenarios. So maybe that's like not out of the question anymore. It's very good. Is it too good and a problem for the game? I think a 10 XP card that doesn't do anything on its own, right? It can only help you do other sorts of things like get clues and deal damage, but it requires you to have well, it gives you actions, but it requires you to have guns and investigation tools that actually do something. So I like this as a big heavyweight card that doesn't actually progress the game state by itself. Yes, it makes progressing the game state very easy, but it's a good card. I like that they said we wanted movement to be back in the rogue class, and they remembered, oh yeah, we did have that. We had cards that moved. Mystic. We have 5 cards from Mystic, which seems really good. Blood Curse. This is a level 0 skill that has 4 wild icons, so immediately you're thinking of Promise of Power, but also Soul Link from the core set. The new core set has 3 wilds. If this skill test is successful, take 1 direct damage. That seems... Uh, I think I do that more often than not. It's a nice effect. For Marie, who wants to take damage anyway because she gets to draw 2 cards, every time, I guess once per phase, that she takes damage onto her investigator card. This just is helpful. Granted, later you need to figure out what you're doing with that damage, and maybe that's okay, but it's a good card. Again, it doesn't. I don't think it's irrelevant like the curse from Promise of Power could be. I think this is just going to be a good cost, but it'll be good. It'll be very good. And then we've got a level 3 skill. Again, no comments about the other Guardian card that we saw earlier this week that also is a level 3 skill. But this one is a really cool upgrade from the level 0 we're looking at on the screen right there. The difference is an extra wild, and instead of taking direct damage onto your investigator card, you get to deal damage to a card with health at your location. And maybe that really is to your investigator card, but that seems like a waste. Why don't you deal that damage to an enemy? Why don't you deal the damage to, I don't know, some other card that has health on it that does something cool when damage is placed on it? Wonder what that could be. I think these are cool. These are really well designed, and I think they're really good. I mean, a card that has lots of icons is excellent. The level 3 version is expensive, but I think the damage component to it is worth it. 2 more. Consume life, level 0. Event, pretty hefty cost. This one lets you deal +1 damage for a fight with willpower. If you defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage for investigator or ally asset at your location. It reminiscent of Drain Essence from Chapter 1. That card was very good. That one let you essentially heal 2. This one is healing 1. But you can spread it around. So maybe you need to heal off an ally or another investigator. I wish this cost 2. I think Spectral Razor from Chapter 1 was probably too good. I mean, it was definitely too good. This is just costed a bit more than that. I don't think you'll ever play this in a legacy environment. But I think if you're playing Marie and this is dealing damage, which is what you need as a baseline, and healing, it goes in level 0 deck. This might be an upgrade to it, maybe. A level 5 card. I mean, we saw level 5 in the core, and it was a really good card. This one's an event, which is tougher to say I'm going to spend XP on. Bend Blood, spell and cursed. Fight with willpower, you get +3 and deal +1 damage to attack. So it's like Consume Life, but you get actually a skill bonus. That one didn't. If you succeed, deal 1 damage to each other enemy at your location. All right, so it's a little bit of a mini Storm of Spirits. Each enemy dealt damage by Bloodbend cannot attack you for the remainder of the round. That's pretty neat. Now, you probably need to be engaged with all the enemies so that you're protecting other investigators. Imagine you had like an elite enemy that's engaged with someone else, you dealt it 1 damage, and it doesn't really solve the problem. So you want to be engaged with all of them. Or in solo, I think this is pretty good too. 5 XP for 2 cost. I don't know. Like, that's a fun effect. I bet it's good. I honestly don't know about the cost. It's just 5 XP seems like you could do a lot with the asset that we've already seen, but this is pretty neat. Each other enemy at your location. Both of these, well, not this one, but the previous one about dealing damage to enemies with health, that is neat because you can get some aloof enemies out there. And I know there will be aloof enemies in that upcoming core set. We got a little peek at the back of the campaign guide that listed all of the encounter sets, and there is an aloof enemy that you might be very familiar with that is making a return. All right. One more Mystic card. Torn of Power. This one's a straight up reprint. As additional cost, spend up to 3 charges from among assets you control. Maybe that red clock, right? For each charge spent in this way, Torrent of Power gains Willpower Wild. I mean, I think charges are better than this, but if charges are plentiful and you can still use them on, or you don't need to use them for things like Cosmic Flame and Second Sight and Shadow Spawn, then maybe you can make this work. It just feels like there's enough good skills already. Like, how many skills does your deck need? I'm probably going to run Soul Link, the Blood one we just saw a second ago, Guts, maybe Unexpected Courage. Like, this is already a lot of skills. I don't know if this makes the cut, but maybe it does. We'll see the rest of the cards in the Mystic set. That's what the interesting thing is about evaluating these cards without knowing the rest of the support. Again, that's why I'm just going to hold off on the Guardian cards till the end of the week. One last class, only 3 cards. This is the Survivor class. 2 cost, Glassing, another trap. We saw a trap that was almost like this. That one let you fight. This one, after an enemy enters the attached location, exhaust Glassing, investigate using either intellect or agility. You get +1 skill value for this investigation. If you succeed, you may discard Glassing to discover additional clue at this location. The other one was, I think, you get the extra damage. Assumption is that the investigate happens at the attached location, not at the location that you're currently at. That's not what it says, but that's probably what they mean. It's just that the fight one doesn't have that problem, I don't think. Anyway, Yeah, it's fast. You're getting yourself an extra action later, remote, which is good. Mm, I don't think it's as fun as the fight one because you're usually dealing something with the enemy that gets them off the board. This, I don't know. Um, Probably what's going to be cool is if we have more ways to get enemies to enter locations, non-elite enemies probably. We don't seem to have that yet. Like if I want them to enter these locations. But yeah, we'll see. Hunting Dog. This is a level zero card, 2 cost. And it's another dog. Ally creature. When an enemy enters play, exhaust Hunting Dog. Move once toward that enemy's location. So Hunting Dog is basically a mini Pathfinder, kind of. A mini Duke, right? Um, but you need to have enemies enter play. I think that's like very good for fighters who want to get closer to those enemies. Maybe even just to kind of pull them off of a investigator who's engaged with them at that point. I think it's pretty good. I, I wonder how many times you want to use your hunting dog before the dog's got to go for a different ally. We need a rod of animalism again, right? There's a lot of dogs and not enough ally slots. I'm really hoping that we get extra ally slots in these starter decks, in these evergreen decks that are class specific, like Miskatonic archaeology funding. Let's get something like that for creatures, for survivor, police for guardians, criminals for rogues, and sorcerers or something for uh, the mystics. Something like that. With some downside, right? Okay. I think it's fine. It just feels like why include this? I just need reasons to not play Alexi or whoever else. Last card, same old thing. 2 cost asset. And this one is an asset. It feels like it's not. Uses 5 supplies. If there are no supplies on same old thing, discard it. You may spend supplies on same old thing as resources to pay for events played by any investigator at your location. Just me, a cup of joe, and last night's snuff. I call that a good morning. Love the newspaper there. Okay, this is a Schaffner's catalog variant, which is interesting because Schaffner's catalog itself was an asset and could spend those secrets on the asset to play other items, which are assets. Um, so you could play a new Schaffner's with the old Schaffner's, and you could recur items pretty easily in chapter 1 from the discard pile. So what does this get you over emergency cash, which basically gets you 3 resources that you can spend on anything? This only works on events. For Miguel, you are playing lots of events, so it's fine as like another copy of emergency cash. Does it do anything extra, right? Like is it just 3 resources? Um, in the sense that you're helping others, cool, right? This is one way to share your resources. That is true. Recursion of assets we haven't seen yet. Mm, other than in Legacy, right? York can play this over and over again. Cool. But it's like it's that little notch down from Schaffner's because it we don't have the, Schaffner's was for item decks, right? It itself was an item. If this is for event decks, this isn't an event, right? So what is it? I mean, Schaffner's was really good. So we'll see. Maybe there's some other synergy that I'm not seeing yet, or we haven't seen yet, but that's kind of the signal, right? Like, what does this do other than another copy of emergency cash? It helps other people, and maybe that's enough for level 0. It's playable, but what else are you doing with this? Cool. That is it. That was a lot of cards. And these are just some quick impressions. I really want to see the rest of the decks to, have a final say about whether or not these are good. But we're getting very close. We're going to see all the cards. I'm pretty sure these are just the cards that we are not going to see spoiled by content creators. Again, I will give you my 4 tomorrow, Guardian cards. And then I think we're going in order. I think we get the Seeker Rogue, Mystic, Survivor, whatever the order is of Mystic and Rogue, I'm not sure, but that's usually how it goes. And I believe we're just getting everything. Crazy. The new core set comes out in just under a month, and the starter decks, the Evergreen decks, come out about a month later. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for everyone who's watching, anyone who supports the channel in various ways, and I'm got just so much to talk about soon, so keep tuning in.